Prejudice and racism are being actively taught to our youth, perpetuating the cycle of hate and social inequality. We have seen it with our own eyes. What if there were a way to stop this cycle? What if the next generation grew up to be better leaders and role models? We dream of a world where all people are seen as equal. We imagine being able to walk outside without fear of violence because of the way we look. Perhaps it is possible.
First, we must understand where prejudice and racism come from. Prejudice mindsets and behaviors develop over time for different reasons. We discovered that prejudice is mostly a result of fear, specifically a fear of outgroups, or people who are different from us.
The stress hormone cortisol floods the body, heart rate increases, and pupils dilate. Over time, the brain becomes conditioned to fear a certain stimulus, for example, people who are different from us.
Fear has many different sources. Sometimes it can be a result of getting older as your brain atrophies, but most often it is much more socially induced. From the age of 5, children usually have an increase in social interaction as they begin school in a new environment. They are faced with the reality that not everyone shares their thoughts, beliefs, or feelings, which can be a shock. Between the ages of 10 and 13 are when the child is able to use more logic to solve problems and think more abstractly. This is also a period when the child yearns to be part of a peer group. They are searching to identify who they are. This means that they will constantly face peer pressure and are vulnerable to insecurity and a lack of sense of belonging within social groups. The last part of the brain to mature is called the prefrontal cortex. This happens during adolescence. The prefrontal cortex is associated with the decision-making and impulsive control.
These phases of development are all crucial moments in terms of establishing healthy mindsets and behaviors. They are also full of fear-inducing situations. If left unchecked, fear becomes problematic. As children grow up, they are faced with new environments and social pressures equipped with a brain that is wired to react emotionally. Unguided, children latch onto the first groups that accept them instead of socializing with a diverse set of people. After years of feeling unsafe that their identity is threatened and like they do not belong, a person can become discriminatory toward other groups. In the years where many neural pathways are forming, children are in danger of strengthening biases which eventually lead to a harmful mentality about the world and the people in it. Healthy and diverse social bonding is crucial during these years. According to the contact hypothesis, when members of different groups interact in meaningful ways, trust and compassion form naturally, and prejudice is reduced.
Imagine a generation that didn't have to live in constant fear and grew up to respect the differences of others. These children would not fall into tight cliques as often and would expand their social circles to include more diverse people. Imagine a world where prejudice and racism are an ancient mentality and actively avoided.
Based on extensive research, we have designed a psychobiotic supplement we call ProHuman.
ProHuman is a psychobiotic, a probiotic with mental health benefits. Our treatment is a unique prebiotic and probiotic blend designed to increase social interaction and form social bonds between different types of children. ProHuman comes in a powdered form. Our kid-friendly mixes, which include pancakes, muffins, and brownies, are combined with healthy prebiotics to promote good bacteria growth in the gut. Our 5 to 9 mix decreases fear and anxiety for children just beginning school. Our 10 to 13 mix is perfect for forming social bonds, and our 14 plus mix delivers everything necessary for efficient frontal cortex development. ProHuman is meant to be ingested daily to ensure the biggest impact. It contains various strains of lactobacillus and bifidobacterium, bacteria scientifically proven to positively impact behavior. Soon after delivery, these bacteria strains will begin synthesizing target neurotransmitters like oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, and gamma-aminobutyric acid, or GABA. The hormones synthesized in the gut will influence the brain in different ways, primarily via the vagus nerve and neuroendocrine systems. This is called the gut-brain axis. Neurotransmitters like GABA and serotonin regulate fear and anxiety, stabilizing mood and helping the child open up to new experiences. Oxytocin is connected to social-related behaviors and will increase empathy and bonding, while dopamine distributes a chemical reward, reinforcing desired behavior. And both the prebiotics and probiotics included in ProHuman influence several processes in relation to neurotransmission, neurogenesis, and behavior, all components of healthy frontal lobe maturation. Growing up with ProHuman, children are able to build lifelong bonds with many kinds of people. Brain development is all about forming connections, and thanks to something called synaptic pruning, the brain has a chance to form healthy neural pathways. As children reach adolescence, pathways that are used less often will die, while those which are reinforced both by social experiences and with the help of parents, such as befriending new people, will remain and elaborate. From now on, instead of running from ambiguity, the child will embrace it. Thanks to neuroplasticity, even if a child uses ProHuman later in development, the brain is able to be rewired to form healthy connections. The more children that use this supplement, the more likely it is that the world will one day be inhabited by people who are less prejudiced, bringing us one step closer to human equality. Just look at my Emily, for example. She has grown up to be an inclusive woman with a diverse group of friends, and she's succeeding in the world. I'm happy that she had the chance to grow up with a different attitude toward others than our parents taught us. If we hadn't used ProHuman, maybe those three would have never been friends.
For decades, we have waged a war on bacteria. Children are overprescribed antibiotics, a hypersanitized lifestyle is encouraged, and the Western diet is not as diverse and nutritious as it could be. All of these things decrease the number of good bacteria in our guts. We know now, though, that our gut microbiota is vital for healthy behaviors, and we are learning more and more every day. As research on the gut microbiome and its effects on the brain expands, more will become possible. We can only assume that more of the pathways which connect the gut to the brain will be found and that more healing will come from it. But there is still so much more work to be done. ProHuman would be an inexpensive and accessible solution to prejudice. However, the Western world has a culture of turning to quick fix supplements like this to solve issues. We have spent a lot of time discussing the implications of psychobiotics like ours and realized that there are things to take into account. How do we handle the issue of free will? And is it okay to give our kids a psychobiotic without their full consent? Does the existence of treatment for prejudice actually condone racist behaviors? Is it likely that people simply won't agree with or take the supplement? What happens then? And what about the side effects?
Whenever we deal with bacteria in the gut, we have to be careful not to introduce dysbiosis or an imbalance. If we are not careful, we might over or underproduce certain neurotransmitters, causing negative consequences. Although ProHuman is not meant to be a perfect solution, designing a psychobiotic and learning about the gut microbiome has opened our eyes to the possibilities of the gut-brain axis.
Hi, my name is Anique Parker.
Hi, my name is Nabria Jackson.
Hi, I'm Jaden.
Hi, my name is Kiana Nurse.
And we are from Robeson High School in Philadelphia.
We developed this project to explore prejudice and its cause because it's something that we have been impacted by as African Americans.
We experienced several challenges during the making of this project.
When we were researching for the Biodesign Challenge, we could not find many projects that challenged racism and/or inequality. Because of this, we did not have much to work off of, so we had to reference our own personal experiences.
We also explored many different types of biotechnology and found that not all were applicable. Building this project has been a journey. We have had important conversations around race, prejudice, ethics, and science with teachers, scientists, and parents around the world.
And now that we know that a treatment like this is possible, we have to ask, will we really let the world come to this? Do we really need yet another medication to solve our problems, or is there another way?
This project is a social critique of the current racial climate, and we challenge you to consider a different path. What are you doing to make the world more equal?